Number 4. Sporty Morty. This guy provides great variety in his brief screen time. I love all of the sports jokes they do with him, especially the unspoken pun of him driving a sports car. He probably would have made the list anyways, but what earned him such a high ranking is when he goes all hunting the most dangerous game for the finale. Ever since I saw Jumanji, I came to love seeing episodes of shows where an evil big game hunter hunts down the sentient heroes like animals. Of course, sometimes their prey is an actual animal, but they still make for one of the greatest villain archetypes. I also like how he kind of sounds like Toady from Disney's Gummi Bears.
Wait, I don't remember if bats are in season. Yes, an elephant gun never forgets.
I know get squash, I know get squash, I know.
Number 3. The Great Escapo. I know he's only number 3, but in some ways he was the most interesting one-off Batfink character. He's an incredible escape artist, like an evil version of Mr. Miracle. I love the way he rolls his R's.
You are in this trick trunk. Trick trunk? You insult me, my lumpy bumpkin. This trunk is devoid of deviosity, free of flim-flam of any kind.
Ironically, what really made him rank so high is his change of heart at the end. He challenges Batfink to perform 3 great escapes at once, and our hero proves to be an even better escape artist than he is, so he surrenders. He promises to return to jail and hopes to team up with Batfink when he gets out. It's such a wildly different twist on the standard Batfink formula that it sticks out in the best possible way. It's a shame that they never did anything more with this character, but still, I'm very happy just to see that he reformed.
Did you ever have the feeling you said the wrong thing?
Number 2. Magneto the Magnificent. Yes, that is his real name. He may not be as cool as a certain other master of magnetism, but he's still a serious contender for the best one-shot villain of any 60s cartoon. He has a great design that looks like a cross between Inspector Gadget and Dick Dastardly. He has a good voice, which is based on Cary Grant's.
Batfink's radar. I'll magnetize it.
He has a cool, if ununique gimmick, which makes him a real threat to Batfink because of his steel wings. Batfink tries to outsmart him by using a demagnetizing spray, but Magneto is just too clever. He also wins the award for the most brutal death trap in the series.
I'm turning up the power on my Super Magneto heat generator till it melts your wings. But that means it'll melt Batfink first. Well, you win a little, you lose a little.
Seriously, when I saw this as a kid, I was really on the edge of my seat. Somehow, this was more traumatic than seeing Huckleberry Hound shot through the head. At the very least, he's better than the Magneto in the 70s Fantastic Four cartoon. You know, the one without the Human Torch.
How did you take away my power?
I didn't, Magneto. I made it out of wood, specially to fool you.
Wood? A wooden gun?
Take him away, man.
A wooden gun. He tricked me with a wooden gun.
And the number 1 best Batfink villain is...
Hugo A-Go-Go, the mad scientist! Ta-da!
I am sure that anybody who has ever watched Batfink knew that he would be number 1.
No fair, you peeped.
He appears in almost half of the episodes. You don't have to be Victor the Predictor to see this coming. Even as a kid, I was fortunate enough to catch enough episodes with him that when Wienerville played the episode The Super Trap, I instantly saw through Hugo's disguise, recognizing him as Batfink's arch-nemesis.
Pardon me, could you use an electrical jammer repairman?
Hugo A-Go-Go, the mad scientist!
So much for my disguise.
That was probably the first time I experienced the joy of a character saying exactly what I was thinking. Hugo A-Go-Go is a mad scientist whose schemes involve outlandish inventions like a tickle stick, a yo-yo with dynamite attached to it, and a spotlight that projects spots. Where do I even begin to discuss how great a villain he is? I guess for starters, I should mention that he is also voiced by Frank Buxton, and he does just as good a job voicing him as he does Batfink.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the maddest scientist of all? Come on, answer me, stupid mirror. In Snow White you talk, for me you're a dummy.
Hugo is by far the funniest villain in the entire series. His over-the-top personality tends to lead to some hilarious dialogue, especially his interactions with the narrator.
Hugo A-Go-Go pushing a baby? Could that mad scientist be married?
What do you think drove me mad? Meet my son, Hugo A-Go-Go.
Why, that's a mechanical baby.
Shh, you'll give him a complex.
He even gets some great puns in, too.
You're going from the cradle to the grave.
I even like his design because his hair reminds me of Snively, my favorite henchman of Dr. Robotnik. I especially appreciate Hugo after seeing all of my favorite British cartoon Danger Mouse. It's a hilarious show, but its one major weakness is that the main villain, Baron Greenback, is not very funny, and he is in most of the episodes. He does get better over time, but even at his best it always seems like he needs to play off of his henchmen to be funny. Hugo doesn't need that. He is funny enough by himself. He did occasionally work with other criminals, and those are good episodes, but given the limited runtime, it's probably a good thing they didn't give him a henchman, as he would have been like Cad Lackey and Underdog. Admittedly, I never liked Underdog as much as I do Batfink, but it's still a good series, just not a favorite of mine. Simon Bar Sinister is a pretty good arch-nemesis. Cad Lackey, however, might be the most boring cartoon henchman ever. I am glad that Hal Seeger didn't dilute Hugo A-Go-Go's awesomeness by having a bland yes-man follow him around, although perhaps Spider Splitter, an old rival to Karate, could have made for a great henchman and serve as a dark counterpart to Batfink's sidekick.
What does it say, Batfink?
It says in karate school, Spider got an A in chopping.
That crook! He only got a B+.
I would go as far as to say that Hugo A-Go-Go isn't simply my favorite animated villain of the 60s, but my favorite pre-80s villain in any piece of television animation. Besides his hilarity, there are other factors. Let's compare him to Boris, Natasha, and Fearless Leader. Now don't get me wrong, Rocky and Bullwinkle is a better show than Batfink, however it is massive, with higher highs and lower lows. Batfink is much easier to rewatch. Also, it started in the 50s, so I consider it to be the pinnacle of 50s television animation. I would argue that the Pottsylvania trio are better characters than Hugo, but not better villains. Throughout the series, they are always trying to kill Moose and Squirrel, but they have no idea that they exist. In the movie, the best live-action movie based on a cartoon aside from George of the Jungle, Natasha sums it up best.
We try to stab them, shoot them, smash them, smush them, crush them, bash them, mash them, squish them, and they don't even know our names. Let's face it, darling, we suck.
It is hilarious how ignorant Rocky and Bullwinkle are of them, but it kind of paints them as ineffectual villains. Hugo is clearly Batfink's arch-nemesis, and while he still always fails, he is serious about taking out Batfink.
Dancing while we're burning. Hugo A-Go-Go, you're the most vicious, villainous criminal I ever met.
But you must admit he's a good dancer.
One of the best examples is in the Backwards box, where he invents a machine that can rewind people. He places Batfink in a death trap he knows he'll escape from. When Batfink tells Hugo how he escaped, he sends him back in there and fixes it so Batfink can't escape. I mean, that's got to be every villain's dream right there. Let the hero escape the death trap, then when they see how they got out, rewind time and make it impossible to escape from. I don't even think Batman could get out of a situation like that. If it hadn't been for karate, Batfink would have been history. Let's also compare Hugo to Snidely Whiplash from Dudley Do-Right. As great a villain as he is, there was an episode where he could have killed Dudley, but found that he just didn't have the guts.
Goodbye, Mr. Whiplash.
Some foreign feeling beats within me hardened breast. Do I feel the pangs of guilt?
Tell Mumsy how I went.
I can't do it! I can't!
And with that, Whiplash pulled the switch, and the speeding train swerved onto another track.
You couldn't kill me, could you?
No, I suppose I'm just an old softy.
Again, it is hilarious, but not something Hugo would ever do.
Whoopee! I've got him at last! You're at my mercy. And as you know, I don't have any.
The closest he got to that was in his next to last appearance, Hugo A-Go-Go, where he used the titular spray to make Batfink vain.
Hugo A-Go-Go is going to shoot us!
Fear not, Karate. No fifth-rate road company Boris Karloff could ever triumph over a handsome, brave, noble, cute superhero like Errol Batfink.
Errol? Oh no, this is too easy. I can't do it.
This is one of the best episodes. Batfink's lines under Hugo's influence are hilarious.
Pardon me, your batship, but Hugo A-Go-Go just stole an armored car.
And I suppose you want me to get you and your incompetent cops off the hook again, eh? Oh, very well.
This all builds up to the climax, where Hugo decides to ditch the usual death trap and try the Scott Evil method of execution.
I have a gun in my room. You give me 5 seconds, I'll get it. I'll come back down here, boom, I'll blow their brains out.
But he can't kill him like this, so he sprays him with a cure to make it like old times. Unlike Snidely, he still goes through with the attempted murder, but this bit of mercy is not what saves Batfink. The outcome was determined before the battle even began.
But the bullet, it hit your chest.
And bounced off this.
The Bat of the Year award.
I'm ashamed to say, when I was under the influence of your Hugo A-Go-Go spray, I put this plaque next to my heart.
Oh no!
The rest of the episode was already excellent, but it's this line that really made it one of my favorites. When I saw this episode as a kid, I was surprised at how humble Batfink truly was. He's ashamed that he stuffed the award in his uniform even though it saved his life. He must be the most modest superhero ever. Truly, Batfink was one of a kind.
Well, he won't bluff Batfink, Chief.
Let's not be overconfident, Karate. I can only say I'll do my best, Chief.
No question about it. He's the all-American Bat.
But Hugo had one more evil scheme left, and it's a doozy. In the final episode, Batfink, This Is Your Life, Hugo decides to really go all out.
I'm through fooling around with you, Batfink. This time, no more Mr. Nice Guy. This is it.
He traps Batfink inside a plutonium glass shield with a plutonium bomb. As Batfink's life flashes before his eyes, Hugo decides to project it onto a screen, and we are treated to the origin of Batfink. He lived with his widowed mother in a cave laced with plutonium, which affected his younger and probably more vulnerable body, giving him super strength. One day, two criminals tried to get rid of his mother. Batfink catches his falling mother with his wings, saving her life but breaking them in the process. Fortunately, a young Karate sees them and takes Batfink to his father, who forges new wings made of steel for him. Batfink vows to use his powers to fight crime.
Boo!
After the flashback ends, Hugo proceeds with his ultimate death trap. I must confess that I felt a twinge of tension at this moment when I first saw this episode, but thankfully the series did not end with Batfink's death. I probably would have heard about it by then if it had. The double dose of plutonium interacted with Batfink's absorbed plutonium, causing him to become temporarily invincible. And then we end the series on the most heartwarming note possible for a 60s cartoon.
He'll always vanquish vile villains like you, no matter what you dream up.
You will?
Of course. Don't you remember? I promised my mother.
This is probably the greatest final episode of any Western 60s cartoon I will ever see. For starters, I have yet to see a 60s series where the last episode feels even remotely final. Also, I was not expecting the origin of Batfink, and it's actually a pretty darn good one. It feels like a real superhero origin story. The main protagonist sacrifices a body part to save somebody else and gets a new, more powerful replacement. It also shows how close Batfink and Karate are, being childhood friends. Batfink's steel wings are a symbol of the bond between their families.